As you can see, this O-ring here has been damaged by the last installer. Hi everyone, it's Tim from Auto Van Can. As you can see, we are back with the Dodge, the oil leak. Let's see if we can get this fixed up today. I'm going to change the O-ring set on the new oil filter cooler that was installed from another shop. See if we can get it back together, get some oil and coolant in it, get it running. They're not changing the upper intake manifold at the moment because they want to take it back to the other shop for if it needs an engine or to fix that upper intake manifold on their cost. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to replace the O-rings on that oil cooler assembly, the oil filter housing assembly. We're going to clean up the valley. As you can see, it's full of oil. So we're going to clean that up, get the new O-rings installed, get it all back together, fill oil, fill coolant, see if she knocks. Alright, I'm going to try and include you as much as possible. I've got to stick my cell phone on charge for a little while. And I'll also clean up all these ports. Now I'm not changing all the manifold seals because they're all changed. They all look brand new. They're still supple, so not going to change them this time. So, fingers crossed. She runs, fingers crossed that it'll run again. Alright, let's start with some cleanup, shall we? Let's see if we can get some of this stuff, all this oil soaked up out the valley. It is a mess. I'm just going to stuff some rags down here, soak it up. Let's see if this syringe will do. Oh yeah. That's going to speed things up a lot. Let's get these rags that I stuffed down here. Let's try and keep these clean. An air-powered vacuum evacuator would do the job a lot better. I do have one for evacuating brake fluid, but whatever. Alright, now that everything's mostly clean, there's a lot of crevices on the gearbox that are difficult to clean up. If you can see here, I'm going to use a Rolock bristle brush by 3M. This is, I believe, the which they come in 50, 80 and 120 grit. So this is the 80 grit, green is the 50, and white is the 120 grit. So I'm just going to go around and clean these mating surfaces. Just going to grab a different disc. It's been a while since I've used these, so that last one was a little hard. That one's better. Alright, as you can see, that should have been done by the last person. But never mind, they have me now. Hopefully the sound of my compressor isn't too distracting. I have to let the generator run for at least half an hour. There's quite some corrosion on here, a little bit of pitting. Not in the important places though. I like those Rolock discs. The only thing is, if you're a hobbyist, they are rather expensive. You buy them in a 2-pack and they cost $100 Canadian. They're by 3M. I don't think on Amazon they're that much cheaper. I don't know. I just get them through my supplier. Just call them up and go, hey, can you send me this? And then hang up the phone. So I've got to get the other oil cooler. I'll put the seals on it. And then I will install it. Let's just get this stuff tidied away. Now I'll be back with the cooler and new seals. Okay, now we're back. I've got new seals on the oil cooler. Now what I'm going to do is to help this seat, I have some Rubber Care by Clean Flow. And this should make it all nice and slippy. So it just slips into the hole, they say. Oh yes, that coolant hose need to go that way. Put my light out the way. Clean up that debris. Get this installed. He says make sure my O-rings are still intact. This one's a bit leaky. It's not a new part, I'm reusing the old one. There's still oil dripping out of it in places. I should have brought my water-based lube with me. Now, I think where they went wrong, so they weren't trying to push it down square. I think they tried to bolt it up and then try to use the housing to push the O-ring in. Now, I never worked in a Dodge dealer, but that could be why it was all messed up. The O-ring was messed up on this side of the housing, so if they tightened it from here and used the housing to pull the O-ring in, I can quite imagine the job going sideways. Oh. Let's see if I can get this little blighter in. Let's see. How we doing? All the O-ring's still there? Yeah. That's my biggest worry. Get it all back together and the O-ring has fallen out. It has to be quite a tight fit. Otherwise you... Oh yeah, we're getting there. Always promising. Just takes a bit of patience. I think that's where some people go wrong. Rush, 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 rush. Oh, it's fucked up. God. Sorry, bad language. It's because I'm not. Look at that. Look. Beautiful. She's on. There we go. For those of you who want to know, I'm using a snap-on E8. So it's a Torx, external Torx socket. I'm gonna flip these up. Okay, there's only 5 screws holding this down, so now I'm going to cut the video. I'm going to go boot up my computer if it works. It's or I brought my iPad with me as a backup because unfortunately I had to order a new computer. Mine's been on its last legs for a little while. I'm just going to pop my book there. As you can see, using my trusty tech angle from Snap-on. It's a 3/8, and it turned off on me. Huh. Okay. Just gonna double check. Make sure it's all good. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure everything looks good. I can't see anything bad. Now let's get the electrical connectors back in. Perfect. I'll grab my rubber care, reattach this coolant hose. Will it slide on without it? Oh, it is. Well then. I am surprised. I love these. These are by Snap-on. They look older than what they are actually, because I had another set that I had for many years from Princess Auto. That did me well when I was working on Porsches, but eventually it gave up the ghost. So I thought, I use it enough, let's upgrade. Perfect. All the other coolant hoses I reattached from the disassembly. Now, let's get the upper intake, or the lower intake. Just checking it, rechecking its cleats now. There were a couple of specks of metal in there, so I just want to recheck it. Once it's been run, tally ho. Here, as you can see, I have the lower intake. Just gonna pop her on the front there. You probably can't see it, it's out of shot. I'm just grabbing a rag. Make sure there's no crud on the seals before I stick it in. That's what she said. Or he said, I don't know. Probably you're not allowed to say those kinds of things anymore, I don't know. The world's gone crazy. I don't know what people can and can't say anymore. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Let's get all these gubbins out the way. Feel bad for the guy. He just had this repaired. I mean, that doesn't change my bill. My bill's my bill, but there's pictures attached to his original invoice that you can see and then used to fight his claim against the other shop if they refuse to pay. Perfect. I was going to use my assembly gun, but I can't be bothered to find it. Well, I know where it is. I just don't want to get it. Especially as I'm now onto the plastic parts. Stop. Wind. Okay. Check everything. Right, I'll get a smaller extension. And I will torque these down. Okie dokie, pick it a pokey. These ones are also 12 Newton meters. So let's start at 1. Perfect. So let's recap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. All right. So that's the manifold in. Now it's to get all the little gubbins and accessories in. Put a lot of goop over the fuel line. Alright. A lot of goop. Let's all this gubbins back together. There's all the coil, the fuel injectors reconnected. Some of the red locking tabs are missing because on these they do so like to break. I didn't do a teardown video. It would have been nice. At least this way you get to see me put it back together. And when I took it apart the other day, it was heaving it down with the rain. Those are for the throttle body. Just double checking my work. Right, now it's time for the upper intake. Just making sure these seals are clean of debris. Okay, here's my upper intake. You can kind of see it. Don't want to drop anything in the manifold. You have to be very careful torquing these down. If you watched my last video on the gross leak, day in the life, Grand Caravan, Dodge Grand Caravan, gross oil leak. You'll see that the manifold has been cracked by the previous installer. Now, I'm not replacing the upper intake today. We're just going to see how it runs. But eventually it's going to cause an issue. As you see, got a crack there. And one starting to form here as well. That's from the previous Yahoo that installed this. Oop. Oh, look. Oh, we're getting pretty close. I've got to put coolant in it. This engine runs and there's no filings in the oil. I'd say that's a win. Okay, another 2 litres. Ooh, we're getting close. We're just going to add coolant. Now we're all set. I'm going to fire up. See how she sounds, hey? See how she sounds. Okay. Let's get this out the way. I'll grab a flashlight too. Make sure there's no oil down there. So it looks good and clean. Yep. Okay. Doesn't look too bad, but there are some spare flakes of metal in there. The engine's probably seen better days. Just document it. Alright, so there I'm going to wrap up this video. I've got some other things to do. I'm going to get up on the... So I'm running a little behind because I've been taping. Once the oil gets thin enough, warms up, the engine develops a noise. There are metal shards and oil filled, so I didn't end up replacing it. So this is going to wrap me up. I've just got a few things to tidy up. I'll check underneath it, make sure it's okay. So thank you for watching. If you like the content, please like, comment and subscribe. I really appreciate the growth to the channel. And I think it's going to rain again anyway, so it's a good thing I'm stopping now. Alright, have a good one guys.